Hi all, we are now going to look into the configurations required for our SAP product costing. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Okay, so we will look at all of these configurations. We will create a material group. We will define material types. We are not going to define any new material types. We will make use of it, but there is a particular setting that you need to do so that your stock value and stock quantity keeps getting updated in the material master, which I will show it to you. Okay, open period for materials. Okay, so we will open the material ledger. Okay, plant parameters, carry out overall maintenance of plant parameters, create purchasing group. Okay, uh, create set tolerance limit for price variance, set tolerance limit for goods receipt, set tolerance limit for invoice, group together valuation areas, define valuation control, define valuation classes, configure automatic postings, maintain company code for stochastic values. Okay, check T69P table SM30. Okay, these are the settings that which we are going to do. But before that, let me explain you the entire concept how the material ledger is integrated with finance. So it's very important how the material ledger is integrated with finance. So if you see, whenever you create a material, it is always created in reference to a material type or a plant, and particularly plant. So let me explain what are different material types. Material types are like raw materials, packing materials, spares, trading goods, semi-finished goods, finished goods, consumables. You can have various type of material types, right? So you classify whatever material you have either as a raw material or as a finished good or as a trading good or as a consumable or as a spare, etc. So this is material type. So whenever you create a material itself, you need to specify under which material type you are going to create it. Now I also said that a material is always created in reference to a plant because we set plant as the valuation area. Now what is valuation area? Now to understand valuation area, what is the meaning of valuating your materials, right? For example, you have two plants. One is in Bangalore and the other one is, let us say, in one of those development regions, maybe in Chhattisgarh or Bastar or some one of those regions, yet developing tires, right? So what would be the cost of producing the same finished good? Will it be the same thing vis-a-vis Bangalore plant with the Chhattisgarh plant? Will it be the same thing, or is there any difference? There could be some raw materials which you are procuring, which is coming directly from, let us say, Chennai. Now Chennai being closer to Bangalore, the cost of getting those raw materials might be much lesser to you when compared to getting those raw materials to Chhattisgarh. So the cost of in freight for those raw materials which are coming from Chennai to Bangalore are relatively lesser when compared to Chennai to Chhattisgarh. So the cost of freight might increase. But what about cost of labor? If the cost of labor in an urban metro as such as Bangalore can be relatively higher when compared to a place like Chhattisgarh, all right? I'm just using it as an example, but no particular bias or anything meant. You can take any particular different two cities, right? So the cost of labor might be higher. The cost of power, maybe the Chhattisgarh government might be giving you some subsidies, whereas in Bangalore you may not get subsidies. So again, the cost of power in Bangalore could be relatively higher when compared to the other plant, right? And when you finish this good, the cost of production or cost of manufacturing for the same finished good will be two different things, which is why you would like to measure what is the cost valuation of my material finished good when I'm manufacturing it in Bangalore plant vis-a-vis Chhattisgarh plant. Got it? So that is the reason we always create valued materials at plant level. Now we wanted to maintain different general ledger accounts for various material types. For example, material type raw material. If I go to the balance sheet inventory, if I just say materials, how would you know what is your stock balance of raw materials? What is your stock balance of your work in progress? What is the stock material, okay, of your finished goods? So I would prefer to, let's say, we prefer to have separate GL accounts for each of these material types. Then we do create separate GL accounts. But how would you link it to material type? So we are saying that we will create different GL accounts here. Okay, let me put the laser pointer and let me bring this pencil marker here. Okay, let's say, okay, we are saying we want to create separate GL accounts, okay, for each of the material type like raw material and others. Okay, we will create different material types. But how do we assign these GL accounts to the material type? That is where you get this valuation class. So valuation class helps to book your cost as per the various material types you have, and that is where we call this valuation class. The valuation class is linked to material type using account reference. So you have separate account references. One for raw material is 001, semi-finished goods is 0008, finished goods is 0009. Now what about transaction key? What are transaction key? Now you can have separate GL accounts based on various movements that is taking place. For example, let's say when you bring the goods into your factory, the raw materials into your factory, that is one particular transaction, right? And when you issue this, the same raw materials, so for consumption, for production, so it's a separate activity. So what is happening? The material you are taking it and giving it to the production shop floor. The production shop floor completes the process, and then what he does is he gives it back to the stockyard as if as a finished good. Then again you are receiving a finished good. So again a material movement is there. So it's a separate transaction key. Now on the material I am incurring a price difference. My cost estimate was that I will buy a certain product. Let me see what was the cost of the product. I have given here an example. Let me click this. I need to disable this. Okay, I have disabled it. Why doesn't it disable? Okay, let me click here. Okay, so, so we have brought certain goods worth 10,000, but the actual cost for us was 12,000. Right? If you set it as a standard price, so look at it, what happens. So 10,000 goes to your inventory, because at the inventory your valuation was 10,000, but you paid higher price, so that goes to the price difference account. That goes to the price difference account. GRIR clearing account represents what you have to pay to the vendor. Now if you see this particular BXX, PRD, WRX, these are nothing but the transaction key. Based on the transaction that you are doing, which is associated with the movement type, okay, along with the valuation class, okay, it determines what is the GL account. For example, here if you are buying raw material, so look at it with BSX with the valuation class T11, it determines the GL account as 200,105. Now let us say if you are buying a semi-finished good, then the transaction key remains still BSX, but the valuation class could be something else, maybe T20, and the GL account assigned might be completely different. Alright, now these are the settings which we will be doing today. Okay, very interesting class. This part that you are seeing, the GL accounts, is the FI part. How the FI is integrated with the material master module is what you are seeing on the screen. I will repeat it. So your GL accounts represents various GL accounts. Transaction key represents the type of movement that is being carried out or type of transaction that is being carried out. PRT represents the price difference. WRX represents the GRIR clearing that you need to provide, what payment you need to give it. Now let's say after getting the finished goods to your factory, when you are selling, okay, your COGS has to get credited. Then you have a separate transaction code called GBB, VAX or VAY, one of these. So like this you have various things. Suppose you are reevaluating a material, again it's a different transaction. So you have a UMB for transaction key for revaluations. I will show this to you. Let me go to the SAP screen and show this to you to avoid any confusion. So let me clear all these drawings. Go to the transaction and click on the mouse. Click here / and OBYC. See, when I go to the OBYC transaction, all these are transaction key. For example, inventory postings, you have BSD. Okay. Similarly, inventory posting here, you have BSX. Change in stock account, you have BSV. Right. And GBB, is offsetting entry. Let's see, offsetting entry for inventory posting. Every time you take out inventory or receive inventory, you have the other side of the entry which should go to the GBB, right? Similarly, PRD represents price variance. LKW represents the accruals. Let me show you PRD. So here you can see PRD. Okay, I have to give it chart of accounts. Let me show you PRD. So T100 was another company code which I created. Now you look at it, T100 along with the valuation class, I have given certain GL account. For profit, it is, if it is a gain, it is 105. It is, if it is a loss, it is this particular GL account. Now T20 represents my semi-finished goods. I believe T20. Let me just check. T20 is packing material. So if it is packing material, again you have a separate GL account. Now if it is semi-finished good, it's a separate GL account, right? This way you have separate GL account. Now, if you are using with a general modifier, you can again subdivide it. This particular price difference, when it is with PRF, it represents production variance. Now, what is production variance? We will talk in another session. Let me not overload you with information. There is separate session for that when I will cover this one. We will come and do all these settings. So now you have seen the transaction key along with the valuation class. Once again, let me show PRD along with the valuation class here. Let me show. So here you have valuation class and transaction. Okay, transaction along with valuation class, you will assign these GL accounts. These GL accounts you will be assigning. Okay, very important. Now let me go back to the PPT. So once again, so GL accounts along with valuation class and transaction key, right? Then this valuation class is assigned to account reference. Account reference is assigned to material type. Materials are assigned to material. So it's this way. The transactions are this way. So here you have material type is assigned to account reference. Now if you see, GL accounts are assigned to transaction key and GL accounts are assigned to valuation class and valuation class is assigned to account reference. Very important to remember. Here I have given you examples of two transactions and I have also shown you here how the various transaction keys GL accounts which are hitting here. So let me see what is there in my next screen. So I'll have to come to the pointer. Okay, clear all drawings. Okay, and then if I go to the next screen here, it's a demo. So let me go back to two screens back. So we will create material group. Okay, I will go to the easy access menu. Okay, and now we will create material group in logistics general. Go to SPRO implementation guide. Go to material management, logistics general. Can you see here logistics general? Here it is logistics general, material master, and here you go to basic settings, and here you have material types. So in material master you can go for another thing, settings for key fields, this one. Here you have material groups. Okay, I will create one or two groups. Okay, before that let me just call the IMJ activity to display the transaction codes. OMSF, you can directly come here. So you click here, you can create certain material groups. I do have certain material groups like leather products, etc. If you see, T101 is fabrics, T100 is leather products, T102 is something else. Okay, I can copy this and create it, but I would advise you can make use of the same thing. Okay, we need not create once again. So but just for the sake of showing you this example, I will just create one of them, select one of them or create newly, no problem. So I'll create newly B100. Okay, material group, I will say that these are fabric related fabrics. Okay, now here you see I did tell you material group let's leave this for now. Just say okay. I'll show this to you. Account group, save, back. Okay. So with this, we completed the first step, creation of material group. Now we'll go and create material types. This is done. Go back. Now is there anything else? Storage condition, basic material, ABC indicator. None of these are required here. So material groups are done. Okay. Now go to basic settings. In basic settings, go to define material types, define attributes of material types. Click here. Okay. In material types, okay, I'm not going to create anything. First let me show you. FERT is these are pre-delivered. FERT indicates finished product, right? And if I go to HALB, indicates semi-finished product. HAWA, where is HAWA? HAWA, not HAWA. HALB, semi-finished. There should be trading good. Where is HAWA? HAWA. Oh, okay, here it is. HAWA is trading goods. Very next line. Then you have ROH is raw material. Okay. Now I'll go to the material master and show you one of those material. Okay. /O mm03. Okay. Let me select the material T101 RM underscore 001. Say okay. I have selected 4 views, accounting, etc. Now can you see here total stock as 102, right? The total stock is 102, and what is the stock value? 40,800. Now every time I either add a material to this particular material, or remove it, the value and the quantity keeps changing, and that is because I have enabled the ROH in this material type. For your plant, you have to say that select ROH and select quantity value updating. Go here, quantity value updating. Quantity value updating, it's not selecting. Give me 1 second. Save changes. Yes, I have not made any changes. OMS2 is a transaction. Okay, let's say I'm doing it for a finished good FERT. Quantity value updating. Here you need to select your plant. Okay, you select your plant B1 or something. So you are saying for this plant, all the materials of finished good nature, you please update the quantity and update the value every time I add or remove a stock. Okay, again in this plant BB10, against finished good type, okay, every time I add or remove a stock, update the quantity and update the value. So that's how you are getting it saved. Okay, save. Now I will redo this. I'll repeat this activity for semi-finished good. Where is semi-finished good? Here it is, HALB. Select quantity value updating. Go to BB. Sorry, here it is. BB10. Update value, update quantity. Save. Okay. If you do not select this, the stock will not get updated. Okay, but only thing is there is a performance at the time of transaction posting. It has an additional activity to go and update that balance, right? But in Material Master, you will get to know what is the stock remaining as well as what is the value of the stock remaining. Now I'll do this for ROH. ROH represents my raw materials. So here it is ROH, quantity value updating. Go to BB10. Okay, these are my plants. So update the quantity and value. Now for packing material, right, I may not want it to update this. Okay, I will make use of packing material. It is VERP, VERP. Okay, so if you go to material types, okay, I'll show you here VERP. This is packaging material. I would say no, do not update the stock with every moment. It's very miscellaneous. I don't want to see my stock position of the covers, etc. Okay, so I leave the packaging material as is. So with this, we complete 2 settings. So I click on this pointer here and collapse it, and let's look at what is the next step. Next step is open periods for materials. Very important. Okay, now save this, go back, go to a transaction called OMSY. So I am opening a new screen. So I am giving the transaction slash O OMSY. Okay. Now here you will have your company code B100. Okay. I will say open it from 2024 from period 7 or 8, 7 I would say, previous month also I would say. Okay. Allow backdated posting. So I'll say that from 2024 7 you cannot book any transactions prior to that one. Okay. Then save. Okay. Enter. Enter. That's it. Save. Okay. Done. Here you have to do one more activity which is called MMPV slash n MMPV. Okay. So let me just check whether I can do, because there are few other plant settings. Let me not do this. Let me define the material ledger and come back. There are material ledger settings and then I'll come back and do this one. So with this we completed the third step, which is open period for materials. Now we have certain plant parameters which we have to define. Let us go to the material management and to this settings. So this screen I don't require, so I'll close this. So you have here, so from material master collapse it, collapse the logistics general, go to material management from SPRO. In material management, go to general inventory management and physical inventory. Go here. So you can see here plant parameters. The T code is not given. Okay. So just say execute. Okay. You have to copy one of these. I will rather copy the 0001 and inherit it to BB10. BB10 is my plant. So BB10. I am inheriting all those attributes which were there for 0001. Create storage location automatically, and there are few other parameters which is defined here. BOM, best application, and all of these are very integrated with your CO module, right? So movement allowed from this plant, yes, it is allowed. Days movement allowed, etc. There are various settings which is there. Okay, you just save this. With this you have done your plant parameters. Now you have to carry out the all maintenance, carry out overall maintenance of plant parameters. Again, that is also there here in the same path, just a little different. Save. Okay, I have saved it for only one plant, but I need to save it for the other plant, BB20. I save it for BB20, save, done. Go back. Okay, collapse this inventory management, go to consumption based planning. In that you come to plant parameters, carry out overall maintenance of plant parameters, OMI8. I will copy it from 0001 to BB10. Okay. So then when you copy, do you want to overwrite? Yes. Done. Okay, if you want to check what it has done, so you click on maintain, select your plant BB10. Okay, maintain. See all of these number ranges, MRP controllers, special procurement, all of these settings gets assigned to your plant as well. Okay, that's all. Now I have one more plant, so I will copy the 0001 to BB20. Enter, copy, save. That's it. Go back. Done. Now after that we now will go and create purchasing group. Let's look at the PowerPoint. What do we have? We have now completed this. Now we have to create purchasing group. So purchasing groups you can create in material management. Okay, not in consumption based planning. You should have purchasing here. In purchasing directly it would be there, create purchasing group. Purchasing, can you see here, purchasing group, create purchasing group. Yeah, here it is. Okay, OME4 is a transaction, execute it. Okay, I'll create certain purchasing group, B10, B20, that way I will create two purchase groups. So I can just copy these two and just say create it for me. So here it goes B10. So it is B100 purchasing group. Then I have B200. Okay, here I will say B20, B20, enter, save. So I created purchasing group, very mandatory. As I said, you could have some specialists who are specialists in procuring anything to do with chemicals. Then there can be some set of group who are specialists in purchasing fabrics. There could be some set of people who are specialists in electronic products. So your entire procurement team, you can divide into two different purchasing groups so that they can focus on their specific specializations. So I have created two purchase groups. Now our next step is set tolerance limit for price variance. Okay, for price variance you go to the purchasing order. It is in purchase order. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. Okay, purchase order, set tolerance limit for price variance. So what is this? Okay, this is nothing but, okay, when your standard cost estimate is maintained in material master. Let's say I maintain the material master as for a particular material as $100. Now your purchasing order, you enter it as $150 per material. So there is almost 50% variance than what your estimate was. Should you allow this transaction, or let the system pop up a warning, or let the system pop up an error message? So that is what is controlled here, right? The price variance at the time of purchasing. What is the maximum cash discount allowed by the vendor? These are the two settings that you do here. So what I will do, I'll copy these two and copy it to my company code. So PE stands for price variance. So here it goes, T100, not T100, B100 is my company code. Okay, so you can specify certain percentages. Instead of absolute value, I am specifying here as the percentage. It will give you a message. Okay, when it is upper limit is 10%, lower limit is 20%. So if I am buying a set up the standard estimate as 100, the lower limit is 80, below 80 it should not go, and above 110 it should not go. In such a case it will give me an error. So that's what here it is. Okay, enter. Okay, so for BB10 also I will be maintain. This is for a different company code. No, same company code, B100. This is for cash discount. B100 is for cash discount. Enter, save. Go back. So these two settings are done now. Now the next setting is set tolerance limit for goods receipt. Now what does it do? This is to do with quantity variance. You ordered 1000 quantity, but you have received only 600 quantity. Should it be allowed? Right? So these are the things which we will do, not at the purchase order level, but at goods receipt level. So let's go back to not purchasing. It would be under inventory management and physical inventory. Under goods receipts, when the goods receipts are coming, you set up the tolerance limit. The T code is OMC0. Click here. Okay, here we copy these three things. One of them is strictly an error message, one of them is warning. So and the another one is for moving average price. So let me just show you. So first I will set a threshold for warning, which is B2. Copy it to your company code. So my company code is B100. I am saying anytime the stock variance is up till 20% variance, lower limit or higher limit, give me a warning. Alright, enter. So B100 it is done. Now the moment, let's say it is exceeding by 20%, exceeding by 30%, I want it to give an error. Then I copy the transaction key here, B1, copy it to your company code, B100. Enter. So I gave it as 50%. Instead of that, I will give 25%. It will give me an error, 25%, either the lower limit or the higher limit. Now when I buy a material, I will show you when the goods receipt is happening, if the quantity is changed, it should give me an error. It should not allow me. The third one is for moving average price. In moving average price, the transaction key is VP. Because of the new item, if my moving average price is significantly changing, then again it will give me error. Okay. My company code is B100. Okay. Amount is in US dollars. Okay. Check limit. Okay. Lower limit I'll give it as 10%. Okay. Upper limit also I'll give it as 10%. Enter. Save. This is at the time of goods receipt. So you have three stages. You raise a purchase order, then you have goods receipt. The third item is that you will have invoice. So invoice is not done here, not in the inventory management. You go to the logistics invoice verification. Here you have invoice block. In invoice block you set the tolerance limit. Okay, you have received a goods receipt. Okay, when you ordered, the variance was just, so you ordered it at 100 per unit, but when the invoice it came for 110. So it's a significant difference, right? More than 10%. What do you want the system to do? So here you do these settings here. You don't have to select all of these. Okay, there are various control parameters. So I'll just check few of them which I have done and I will define it here. So I'll select very few BD, ST and VP. Okay. So I'll select BD. If this is for small differences automatically. ST and VP. I copy it. Okay. So here it is for BD. My company code is B100. So enter. For ST date variance, you have something here. Enter. Again for moving average price, you have at the time of invoicing an entry already exists. Okay. So then enter. Cancel this. VP is already there, it says. Okay. It has copied BD and ST. I'm surprised how come VP is already there. Yes, I have not created it before. So let me just check for my company code. B100. So B100 already it is copied. You have VP, ST and BD. All these three are already there. Just save. So we have set the tolerance variance for three things. The first one is for at the time of purchase order for price variance, which is compared with the cost estimated price in the material master. At the time of goods receipt, it checks the variances in the quantity. Again, during the invoice, it checks for dates, small differences, etc. It does the checking. So we have completed these three settings. Let us take a quick stock of where we are. Okay, come here. So all these variances are done. Okay, these are the core settings. Now we are coming to our FI settings for integration. We wanted to create a valuation class, valuation control and group together valuation areas. Okay, let's do the group together of valuation areas. Okay, go to say material management, valuation and account assignment. Okay, so material management. Okay, collapse this logistics, go to valuation and account management. Here you should have account determination. In account determination, go without wizard. Okay, now here you have group together valuation areas. Now what does it mean? Suppose you are using the same chart of accounts across right, for all your plants across multiple legal entities, right? If it is same GL accounts which you are using for raw material inventory, semi-finished good inventory, for consumption, for price differences, etc., right? Whatever the OBYC settings that you do, right? There is a transaction key which I showed you at the beginning. Unless it is different for different plants and different legal entities, if it is the same thing, I don't want to do it at a plant level. Rather, I will assign all these plant to a single group and I will maintain those settings at the group level. So that is the key here. So group together. Let's see first, let me see if I can define the first valuation control. The valuation control is, we are saying valuation group is active. Grouping code is active, which is good. Right? This is done. You don't have to do there anything. Group together valuation areas. You have two valuation areas, that is two plants. For them, you create any group. It is a free text field. You can define it directly. I will create it as B100. I'll create it as B100. And to this group, I will assign my valuation classes, etc. So that at each plant, I need not define. Now define valuation classes, valuation class, okay. Now valuation class, if you recollect, I said we will do it for raw material separately, spares separately, packing material separately. So I'll do the same thing. It's again, what you need to do is, let's say I create a new one, okay. Here I will give B10, okay. Account reference is for raw materials. This is for raw materials. So I'll say here raw materials, and then I'll give it here as B100. B100. Enter. Now I can create another one B20. Okay. I'll assign this for either packing. Let's say I'll assign this for packing material. Reference for packaging. Okay. Now this is the account reference which I said. Okay, this is not raw materials, this is packaging material. So packaging material, and assign it as B. Then B30, B30 raw materials, packaging materials. I would say B30 is my semi-finished goods. Semi-finished goods I can assign. Done. So semi-finished goods I should have already semi-finished goods. So I'll assign it as B100. Then for finished goods, I'll give B40. And the account reference is 0009. Okay. Now this is finished goods for B100. Now look at it, very important. Okay. You are assigning your valuation class, right, to your account reference. Let me go back to the PPT and show it to you. Do you remember? I said valuation class will be assigned to account reference. So as I said previously, valuation class is assigned to account reference, and material type will be assigned to account reference. That way account reference forms a bridge. Sorry, this is not right. Can I do a control Z? Control Z is not there here. It is. Let me put just a drawing, free line. So account reference forms the bridge down between your FI, and your material master. Alright. Now I'll show you in the material type the same account reference for semi-finished goods. Okay, I should have showed you in OMS2. So clear the drawings, come back to the pointer. Okay, let me go to the transaction OMS2 once again, OMS2, right. If I go to the FERT, which is for semi-finished goods, double click it here. Okay, you should find, you see account reference, category reference here 0009. So for the same 0009, I have assigned the valuation classes B40, and I will maintain separate GL accounts. This is the bridge. Account reference is the bridge between both of these. Many times in interview they ask you what is the integration between FI and MM. See, this is the integration. Okay, very important. You have to explain whatever I have shown you in the in this particular slide. With this example, if you give how these transaction keys are assigned, it will be, you know, icing on the cake. Okay, done. I have created the valuation class. Now I want done, valuation classes are done. Then the next setting is OBYC settings. Let me just take a stock of what we have done and what is pending. Okay, configure automatic postings. This we will do individually in the OBYC as and when we face difficulties, we will do it. Okay, let me enable the ledger and then come back and do it. Maintain company code for stochastic values. So this we have to do it directly in the OMRG T code. So I will go here /n OMRG. This you can do either from SM30 or you can do it directly. Here you just have to create a plant, that's all. in stochastic value. Just like I have created K100, you create your B100, new entries, enter and save. That's all. You don't have to do anything else. Save, okay, bye. That's it. We don't have to worry here. So with this, all your configurations are done. We will do the OBYC settings as and when it is required. So I have shown you the OBYC. You can just rewind back and see how the OBYC was maintained. Is there anything else? I think that's it. Okay. Okay, let me just read out again. Create material groups, material types, open period for materials, which we have done, plant parameters, carry out overall maintenance of plant parameters, which we have done, create purchasing group, set tolerance limit for price variance, set tolerance limit for goods receipt, set tolerance limit for invoice, group together valuation area, define valuation control, define valuation classes, configure automatic postings, maintain company code for stochastic values. Check this particular one in SM30. I can show it to you. It would be the same thing, but nevertheless, let me show it to you. SM30. Okay. T169P underscore, what was the value? Let me just see. T169 underscore T169P. So if I display it, okay, it's the same stochastic value which we have maintained, that comes here. B100. So B100 is here. So I have maintained it here. That's all. This is a setting. The error comes at a particular stage, so I have tried to avoid it at the initially itself. This setting would be required. Otherwise, you will get an error message and you will have to come back and maintain it here. So that's all for the configurations now. Okay. Thank you very much. So I'll be covering all of these topics in great detail. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.